What kind of jackass first makes a movie, then writes a book about that movie to promote the movie? Why would anyone do that? Who would do that? I think you know who. This jackass right here not only would think about doing that, but did it. And maybe you should too. Hey there, I'm Jeff MacIntyre, and by no means is this my first trip to the documentary Dog and Pony Show. No, I've been doing this a long time, even picked up 18 Emmy Awards along the way. But what is new and what continues to kick my ass is self-distribution. I mean, these are uncharted territories for most of us filmmakers, and there's a lot of pain to be felt. So throughout my process, I've been trying to be as transparent as possible, so hopefully we can learn from each other. What I'm about to share is my latest experiment. But to take you back, I'm the guy who made the documentary about the cookie icon, Wally Amos, the guy who started up Famous Amos Cookies. The film, which we've talked about before, is The Great Cookie Comeback. And we did a deep dive on my very successful efforts of self-distributing that film. And if you haven't wasted 46 minutes of your life on that, well, please, the link is right up here, or maybe it's down here, or could it be there? I have no idea where it is, but that's not the point. The point is, all you documentarians are looking desperately for new ways to get the word out about your little filmic baby. And it's tough these days, you know. I mean, there's so much noise. How do you cut through and expose people to your work of art? This is kind of a wacky idea. I don't think this has ever been done before by a filmmaker. Converting your film into a book to then market your film. What? Deep down in my leaky gut, I just know that documentaries are ripe for nonfiction repurposement. And the perfect medium to transform a documentary into is a book. I mean, duh, what are you sitting on right now? 90% of the interviews that you have shot go unused, untapped. They sit there collecting digital dust for no one to ever see or derive value from. So why not transform that gold into a book that could become another profit stream? This is my theory, and if you'd like to come along with me to see if this actually panned out, was this a colossal waste of time? Or was this a brilliant movie marketing move? Well, let's find out. Let's first get you up to speed and find out what this crazy book's about. Check out the trailer. In a world before cookie stores, one man dared to dream sweet visions, tasty times. The famous cookie was born. Famous Wally Amos changes history. Take a bite of this story. Cookie King, Wally Famous Amos. I hear you. WTF? Write a book? Damn it, Jim, I'm a filmmaker. So first things first, this book was never produced to be a huge bestseller, income generator, financial independence vehicle. No. The point was to create a loss leader. And classic loss leader strategy means you're selling a product or service at a deeply discounted price with the main intention to attract new customers to additional products or services that may have more value or may fetch more revenue. That's a crucial point. I wasn't looking to drive massive amounts of dollars to my wallet. No, I was looking to drive traffic to the film's website, to the email list, and all that. So how does a book do that? Simply put, you're just packing your book with tasteful opportunities for promotion. First of all, you come up with a lead magnet, which that's Internet Marketing 101. Everyone has to have a freebie, a giveaway, a lead magnet to offer in exchange for someone's name and email address. Because that's what we've all heard, the money is in the list. And it is really key as filmmakers, or really creators of any product, You gotta build your own list so you own your audience and you can communicate with your audience at your whim, not the whim of a Facebook algorithm. So that's key. So lead magnets were peppered throughout the book, as were mentions and links to the film's website during key moments in the book, where I said, if you want to hear Wally talking about this and see him, performing this great feat, well, you got to check out the movie, The Great Cookie Comeback, about Wally Amos, and then you include a link right there. Later on, we'll get into which lead magnets I used, how I set the landing pages up, and my strategy to drop them throughout the book. Another great thing about producing a book about your film, it exposes new audience members to a subject matter that they may not have originally thought of. And there is no larger group of hungry, frothing at the mouth customers than the folks that hang out around the aisles of the Amazon Superstore. It's the largest pool of rabid shoppers. And once again, you are putting your subject matter, your main character, in front of the largest pool of shoppers in the world. So the real question is, why wouldn't you be doing this? So that's WTF what I was thinking. And I was pretty sober at the time too, so. Oh crap, do I really have to write a book? Hey, I hear you. You think I wanted to sit down and slave away over a hot keyboard after already slaving away on a hot timeline editing the movie? So yeah, I get it. So this really isn't as daunting as it sounds. It's not like you're sitting down, pecking out on your old IBM Selectric typewriter. For all you doc makers who have transcripts of all your interviews, oh my God, slam dunk. You are primely positioned to whip out a book in no time. You're basically transforming your transcripts into a mini biography, which I did, or just a general nonfiction book about your subject matter. For my book, what made the most sense was to arrange all of Wally Amos's information chronologically. And I made it in a conversational format, kind of interview style, where I kind of just copy and pasted stuff straight from the log, where it's interviewer, which I just put my name in the book, and Wally's name. It was question, answer. And of course, all this was edited. It still has to, have some appeal to the reader, has to be interesting, has to, have some good momentum. So you want to clean up your logs, of course, your transcripts, but at least 70% of the work's done for you already. To be clear, this wasn't a copy and paste drive-by. I actually wrote an introduction, conclusion, and intros for most chapters of the book, and you really should too. This is an opportunity to expose a brand new audience to you, your style, your secret sauce. So it's key that your voice is really heard throughout the pages of this book. And where do you end the book? Well, Cookie King ends where the film then picks up the story, you see? So after a reader has been on this incredible journey, learning all about Wally's wildly fascinating life, we dead end them at, a spot that says, hey, if you enjoyed everything up into this moment, we'll find out what happened to Wally and his new cookie company venture. Did he make the great cookie comeback, or did he crash and burn? So here's a link. Pick up the story in the film. Keep in mind, you're not looking to break into the New York Times bestseller list. That's not the purpose of this book. This book has one purpose: to drive viewers to your film, to possibly make some new fans of your work. So after you've tamed all these unruly words and you whipped them into shape, you corralled them into one spot on a Word doc or Google Doc, well, now you're ready to transform all those numbers, letters, and spaces into an actual ebook. I used software from Amazon, Kindle Create, to format the book, and it was almost drag and drop. Once you create, and you have to do this properly, and there's plenty of guides that tell you how to set up your Word document, so when you do format it for an ebook, it just kind of magically comes together, and using Kindle Create helps get it formatted for their platform. After I created the Kindle version, I thought, well, you know what? It might also be nice to have a paperback version of this book, because a paperback version, it just legitimizes the fact that it is a book. And it's an upsell. I mean, a paperback is a higher ticket item than an ebook would be. Granted, you're not going to sell a lot of paperback versions. Mine is priced at $7.99, but what it does do, through the power of, comparison, it does drive people to the Kindle version because they say, wow, I could save $7, and that's what you want. You want to drive people to the ebook because of all those links, those clickable offer links, the promotional links, the lead magnets embedded in the ebook. Now, on the docket down the road is a release of an audiobook, which is surging in popularity. And once again, not only do you have the transcripts from these interviews, but if you made a film, you have the audio of these interviews. So how cool would it be to hear the answers, hear the narrative come to life in the actual character's voice?
I'm surprised that I can still laugh. I really am, because it's been some rough times.
So to me, that would be a big score for someone who's interested in Wally Amos to actually hear him narrating his own mini biography. And it's another quote-unquote product that you would have to market your film. And some people just prefer to consume material in that format. I told you I'd dive deeper on those lead magnets, so let's take a look within the Kindle version. Right off the top, after the title page, we have this copyright page. And a lot of times you just see a straight, boring block of text. It's boilerplate copyright text. So I chose the top of the page, once again, another promotion for the movie, using a great color shot, some key art, and a link. And then you flip a couple pages, and I have a nice quote from Wally with a cookie. So that gets people salivating and easing them into his life and his story and what he's all about. His essence are cookies. So why not offer the chance to grab the very recipe for his famous cookie? And this is very strategic why this lead magnet is on page, 3 or 4. Because when you're on Amazon, at least on a desktop version of the site, you have the wonderful look inside feature right here. Putting this lead magnet so close to the front has a targeted purpose. It's because look inside obviously is not going to give you the whole book. It gives you the first, 10, 15 pages, depends on the length of your book. So by putting it this close up front, I don't need to have someone take a chance on the book, to buy the book or download it for free or whatever. I just need to get them to this page and entice them to click that link, which is very active, even within Amazon, to then go to my landing page, give me their name, give me their email. Sure, I'll give you that recipe for free. Now I've got you. Whether or not you've transacted with my book, doesn't matter. I've got you. And I'd be more than happy to continue the conversation about Wally and the book and the film and what other offers we have down the road. But then, of course, throughout the book, there are other well-placed links and lead magnets and offers. If you haven't shorted out your device due to a big puddle of sleepy drool and you actually are enjoying this, well, woo-hoo! Thank you. Can't tell you how much that means to me. Please do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you will be first in line to learn about updates to this video and also to learn about future nutty movie marketing experiments that we do here. Really appreciate that. Okay, now let's move on and get under the covers. Just like your pick on Tinder, your cover better look good. It better turn heads. This is your one shot to grab an eyeball as they're scrolling past millions of other products. But your cover, it's like fishing. It's the bait on your hook. And there's a lot of other hooks in Amazon's lake. And if you don't feel that you're suited to pull this cover off by yourself, you really should bring in some expert talent. The great thing about designing a cover is it's not just transactional for the book. I used it as another way to engage with Wally's Facebook audience and the email list we've already built. I created a couple different cover options, and I used those as conversation starters. One, I sent out a blast for everyone on the email list, and I said, hey, we have this cool new book coming out, and here's 2 cover options. And if you're kind enough to spend 8 seconds of your time letting us know which cover you liked and why, we will send you a download link for an advance review copy of the book, an ARC. That's a pretty sweet offer. And you can also do that with, your social media audience too. Drip out a couple different covers over, a week and start getting feedback. Start planting the seed that something cool is in the works. You got a book in the machinery. It's about to come out. The more that your audience can feel some part of ownership over the book, the more likely they are to be frothing at the mouth to grab it when it comes out and to recommend it to other people. They tell their friends, hey, I helped them choose that cover. Any opportunity that you can engage them from the earliest point possible is a win. Some of you may have thought, well, why are we giving free books away before it's even out? Well, I kind of thought that too. But the reason you're giving away a free advanced copy, an ARC, an advanced review copy of your book, really comes down to that R of the ARC, the review copy. This is a chance to start racking up reviews before you do your big launch. This is really important. And there's the whole law of reciprocity. If you give somebody something for free, they're more likely to do something for you. So this is where, your big ask comes in early in the process. You give somebody a free book. Oh, all you want from them, if you'd be so kind, if you enjoyed the book, is just drop a brief review at this link. So it's really important to rack up as many reviews as you can just to really provide social proof when you go launch to your big beefy audience of millions who've never heard of you or your book. So they have to see those stars, those 5 stars from, even 10 reviewers in order to give them confidence to click buy. Not even buy. Just to get them to take a chance on a free book. So that's key. Speaking of the free book, let's launch this baby. So the big launch is a free launch. You're not making any money here. That's not the point. The point is to get the book onto as many devices as possible. In order to do this kind of a free launch, you have to become part of a special program on Amazon. And they give you 5 free days in every 90-day period. Well, I didn't want to blow all my 5 days right off the top. So I did a 3-day launch, and I'm banking 2 days for a future launch, just to, revive interest down the road. But if you think, write it, launch it for free, and they will come, you're going to be very sad, very stunned, very hung over from the painful reality. It ain't like that. There is no such thing as a free book launch. You got to pony up the coin to make this happen. But thankfully, there are a lot of services that will promote your free book for a price, but it's just the way the game is played. So in addition to that, I prepared a bunch of social media posts to correspond with the launch. This fun little post to, let everyone know, hey, this is free, limited time, free, grab it now, read it later. So you got to create that sense of urgency. So how deep of a hole did this nutty book experiment put me in? I know that's what you're thinking. And believe it or not, I think I spent more on the first week when I launched my film on Facebook ads than I did on this little 3-day experiment. So my total costs, and by total costs, I mean money that went to 5 different sites to promote my free book launch on Amazon. This is really my only cost center in this whole experiment. So 5 services to promote this 3-day launch. What do you think? Okay, let me do it this way. I'm thinking of a number between 180 and 181. So how much do you think this cost me? Well, I will tell you right now. If you guessed $180.25, well, you are a big old winner. That's right. This is what it cost me to run this little experiment. But not all the results are black and white, unfortunately, but after, we peel back the curtain and I show you these numbers, I'll give you some context and how you really need to think about these results. Because the silver lining, a lot of the things we did in this first run will continue to pay dividends months down the road. The finally burning questions will be answered. Was this an epic fail or a brilliant movie marketing move? Let's take a deep dive into the daily downloads. Here you go. Day 1, I had 2 of those promotion services blasting out news about my big free launch. and I racked up 728 downloads, which I thought was super cool that people were actually downloading this funny resemblance of a book. For day 2, I only had one promotion service spreading the news, but, look at these results. Blew my support hose off. 1,640 downloads for the Cookie King. Day 3 comes along, the final day of the promotion, and I had 2, let's call them B-level promotion services at work, but still, they did a respectable job by pulling in 943 downloads. At the end of the day, at the end of 3 days, the Cookie King was on 3,353 Kindle devices all over the world. Technically, bestseller author status was reached. I was able to rock a number of categories, the top slot for all 3 days. But first, let's just zoom out overall in the entire free Kindle store, which, there's hundreds of thousands of books in the free Kindle store. And by day 3, I had reached 76 out of all those hundreds of thousands other books. So I felt pretty good about that. By day 2, Cookie King was number 4 in the entire nonfiction category. Number 1 in biographies and memoirs for, I think, all 3 days. Number 1 in business and investing. Number 1, cookbooks, food, and wine. Drill down a level, I was number 1 in the baking category. And, dream come true, bucket list check, number 1 in the category of cookie baking. Woohoo! Cover me in Crisco and slap me upside the head with a rolling pin, mama. Aside from all the super cool stock footage that you've just seen of cuties and pink bathrobes and equestrian fails, what does all this mean? Well, let's lift the lid off this crock pot and dig into the stew of evidence that was just presented. Yes, while I think the launch went well and Wally, Amos, the documentary, the subject matter is out there on over 3,300 devices. 3,300 potential new customers have been made. But long term, that's where you really have to set your sights, because yes, all those downloads were achieved in 3 days, but does that mean all those people, are they going to dig into this book immediately? Are they going to take advantage of all those offers peppered throughout the book? Of course not. And a good percentage will never even click Cookie King. Not at all. They're just, freebie seekers. It's like gardening. A lot of times you have to plant a lot of seeds before you see any flowers. So you keep planting. And this is just phase 1. This is just Kindle. There's plenty of other ebook sites online. But the bottom line is over 3,000 seeds have been planted on devices. Over the next couple months, results will continue to trickle in. And that's a real win compared to all the money you drop over at Zuckerberg's little operation where you run a Facebook ad for a week. Then after those 7 days, it's dead and gone. It's buried and forever forgotten. Where this at least has an opportunity to live on for quite a while on a device. It's been about a week since my launch ended, and I'm seeing some decent numbers. Compared to when I ran Facebook campaigns to drive people to my email list and to build an audience, in 3 days, I have racked up more members to my, email list than I did in weeks or months of running expensive Facebook ads. To date, I have, I think, almost 200 people on this list. These lead magnets that I talked about earlier, they are resonating. People are opting in. What they do next, that is to be seen. Can we then make the bigger conversion and have them watch the film on an online platform or buy the film through my own platform? And I have seen a couple of sales because in the book, I also offered a coupon to push people to, the ultimate Cookie Lovers film package, where not only could they see the film, but I included a bunch of other freebies to help entice them to drop a little dough. And I've made a couple sales with this coupon. And that's another thing. You create a special coupon code that you only put in the book so then you could track your results. That's really key, to be able to track what's working and what isn't, and then tweak along the way. So at this point, I'm encouraged, and I think over time, I will continue to see the fruit from this book launch. Hey, I hear you, but Jackass Jeff, we're filmmakers, not book authors. Well, maybe at first glance, but come on guys, there's no more period after filmmaker. Right now, there's a big, beefy, bold comma, followed by marketer, self-distributor, and just all-around business person. Right now, at this moment, your success, my success, is completely dependent on what happens after that comma. And writing a book is just another tool to market your first love, your film. And you know, compared to a lot of other options, the risk-reward equation really isn't too hairy. I mean, if you buckle down, you could probably whip out a decent mini biography like Cookie King in about 2 to 3 weeks. And the cool thing, it's just another piece of intellectual property you'll forever own and you could put to work while you sleep. So really at this point, the only question you should be asking as a doc maker is, why wouldn't I write a book? Now, yeah, there are some cases, of course, where it just doesn't make sense. But for 80% of you, I boldly maintain that creating a book to promote and market your film is definitely worth a try. I mean, what other plans do you have for all those mountains of unused ingredients? I mean, really? No, I'm asking, I'm here. What's that? I didn't hear you. Well, what are you gonna do with all this stuff? Huh? Yeah, exactly, Franco. I know these are kind of new waters we're all venturing out into, and if this has sparked a curiosity or lit your fuse and you'd like to maybe take the next step and transform your film into a book, there's info in the description area right down here about my brand new course on just this crazy topic, where I'll take you from WTF to WOW. Wow, I just launched a book. And it'll arm you with the tools and tricks that you need to fast track the entire process. So if this sounds at all interesting, well, please reach out to me and I'd love to work with you on this. Thanks again for watching. I appreciate your time.